Pro Football Focus says Auburn has a top 10 quarterback room in the country. I love it. I'm just not sure I'm buying it.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. We're dapping it up with the Darrell Dapprich, Montgomery radio legend, here for a few minutes on today's bonus edition of Locked On Auburn. You pointed this list out to me this morning, Darrell, and it shocked me. You sent me the graphic. I found the article it's based off of. Pro Football Focus, they rank their top 10 quarterback rooms entering the 2025 season. This is not starters. This is entire rooms. They have Auburn as the 8th best quarterback room in college football. I love the praise that the quarterback room is getting. And the reason they are getting this is because of the depth of it, not because of the high-end projection of what we expect Jackson Arnold to do. So I love the recognition. I love that. I'm just not entirely sold that it matters.
Well, I think it does matter. I think, first of all, two or 3 months ago, we kind of just threw it out there on a show and said, Auburn could have one of the best quarterback rooms in the country from a depth standpoint.
Yeah.
And this is where I love throwing this in. And you knew it was coming. So I hope you have your seatbelt on because you know it's coming.
Sure.
The only reason why this room is considered top 10 is because, again, not high end, but when you add Ashton Daniels,
right,
and his experience at Power 5, Power 4 football, you have two guys in Arnold and Daniels who have combined for, 18, 19 starts in the Big Ten, Pac-12, and SEC over 2 years. Okay, that in itself is impressive because you've got guys that have played a lot of snaps. They've started. He's not raw. Right. Then you throw in an, oh, by the way, top 3 quarterback in the country out of high school, 5-star and Deuce Knight. I mean, how could it not be? Really? And I'll say this. What would it have been if Caldwell would have signed?
I bet it would have been the same.
Maybe a spot because you got another guy that played and started 7. I mean,
the reason I don't think it changes is because the article, when it gets to Auburn at 8, it says the following 3 schools don't have a proven star under center, but still deserve to be on the list due to 3 intriguing options. I don't think that changes if you get another guy. And so those 3 schools are Auburn, Alabama, and Ohio State, which it's like, okay, cool. I'm fine being in the same tier with those schools. Yeah, I think the list is accurate. Let me change my stance on this just for a second. But I think the list is accurate. I'm just not sold that it matters because I think for Auburn to achieve everything that we want to achieve, they've got to do it with upside. And the upside is Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight. And the reason they're on this list is because of Ashton Daniels. And so I don't know if this necessarily turns into extra wins or more passing yards unless Jackson gets hurt. Then I think it becomes extremely relevant. But I do think if Jackson gets hurt, I don't know how likely all of the upside that we're talking about is for this team and this roster, how likely it is to actually happen.
Well, I'm going to push back on why it matters.
Do it.
You can say
support your guy, my guy.
You can say all you want that it doesn't matter unless Jackson gets hurt, but that's exactly why it matters. You have to have that insurance, that safety net, that insurance policy that says, okay, if he does get hurt, I have someone to turn to. That's why it matters. Even if it never happens and you're looking back on it in 2026 and going, he played every snap. Oh, I get it. But right now, in this moment, it matters because it could happen. And if it happens, I get the argument that if Arnold doesn't play well and gets replaced by Daniels, it doesn't help us because then there's no ups. The upside's not there.
Yeah, but you've probably lost games at that point too in that scenario, right?
But if Arnold got hurt,
to
be able to go to a veteran guy that has that many starts under his belt makes it matter to me. I know
and to your point, I mean, looking at last year, like if Ashton Daniels is the backup quarterback Auburn probably beats Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think after Thorne got benched, because a lot of stuff where it's like we need a better quarterback play was before he got benched. So I'm trying to think of like after he got benched.
I don't think that if the scenario would have played out last year, if Ashton Daniels was on the roster last year and the scenario would have played out the same, when they inserted Hank Brown in that game, they would have inserted Ashton Daniels instead. And I don't think Ashton Daniels would have ever relinquished the job, because I don't think he would have come out and played as poorly against Arkansas than Hank Brown.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you. I'm just thinking the games after that we lost due to quarterback play.
Well, does he throw the ball right? Does he hit the linebacker between the letters for a pick six? Does Ashton Daniels do that, or does he use his legs to escape the rush? Not make.
You're right. I was thinking Oklahoma was.
Yeah.
I thought Oklahoma was before Arkansas. So yeah, like, do we beat Oklahoma then? Possibly. Do we beat Missouri?
Maybe he runs
then?
it. Maybe we have more
Possibly.
quarterback. Maybe we have more quarterback runs there.
Yeah.
Which, the way we were running the ball with Hunter against that Oklahoma game, if you mix it up a little bit and fake it to Hunter and let Daniels keep it and not throw it right between the two letters, like I said, to that linebacker, maybe you win that game.
Goodness gracious.
I know it's
such a frustrating year.
And candies and nuts. People are going to think that I'm like related to Ashton Daniels. I'm not. I think
you are Ashton Daniels.
No, I just love the value of a backup quarterback with the traits he has. I'm not saying he's the starter. I'm not saying he's going to beat out Jackson Arnold. I love the luxury of having somebody with his pedigree as a backup, is all I'm saying.
Do you think he's better than Payton Thorne?
I do. I absolutely do. I believe that if he would have been here last year on campus and was able to compete in the spring, I believe there's a real chance he could have beaten Payton Thorne out in the spring if they would have left it as an open competition with an open mind and did not go in with a preconceived notion. That's what I think.
That's a big if. I think we agree that is a big if, but I mean, I don't think you're too far off on that at all.
But I do believe that had the scenario played out like it did and Thorne got benched and Daniels got inserted, Daniels would have showed enough to keep the job. Yeah,
I agree with that. And you got to think, I mean, anytime you make a move like that as a coaching staff, you don't want to have to, play the Uno reverse card, 2 weeks later. So that was really bad for the football team to pull Payton and then be wrong. That was not great. That was not great. So, and I mean, once again, to your credit, if Thorne plays the entire game, like, you probably beat Arkansas in that situation too. And so if you think Ashton Daniels is better, then yeah, I'm there with you in that hypothetical. So Auburn at top.
That's a great point. I'm glad you said that, because I've got to give credit where credit's due and be fair. Thorne had a pretty good second half against Arkansas.
Yeah.
If he starts instead of Brown and don't have those 3 interceptions, maybe Auburn wins that game too. So that's a good point.
There's so many ifs, right? There's so many ifs, but that's what we do this time of year. So let's react to other parts of this ranking and tie it back to Auburn, because I think it's interesting. That's coming up right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Darrell, we've all done this. Look at the account, like, oh my goodness, there's so much less in there than I was expecting because we went crazy at the grocery store, or oh my goodness, 3 nights this week we've done meal delivery, whatever it might be. Monarch Money, they are your complete financial command center when it comes to managing your money, but not only managing your money, building wealth. We all have all of those subscriptions that we forget about. Monarch Money manages that, as well as your investments, your portfolios. You can tie it all into one place at Monarch Money. So head over to monarchmoney.com right now. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. Darrell Dapprich hanging out with us as we dap it up on this Friday. So Pro Football Focus puts Auburn as the 8th best quarterback room in the country. They have LSU at 1. A lot of that has to do with Garrett Nussmeier. And then they brought Michael Van Buren in. SMU is at 2. It's a little surprising to be that high, but I get it. Arizona at 3. Florida at 4. DJ Lagway's a big part of that. Clemson at 5. I honestly thought they would be higher, and I really like Vizena that's behind Cade Klubnik. Auburn was like 2nd or 3rd for his services way back when. That seems like forever ago. Miami at 6, Penn State at 7, and then we already mentioned Auburn at 8, Alabama at 9, Ohio State at 10.
You can argue the case between 1 and 10 as far as the orders and that kind of thing.
It's not a bad list, though.
No, I think the Alabama scenario for those that, obviously if you're an Auburn fan that you're looking to the West is because there isn't somebody that was a designated starter, right, that has as many starts than Arnold and Daniels have combined. So that might be the reason for that. Potential upside ceiling might be higher, but yeah, it's this list does not, the fact that Auburn made this list does not surprise me at all. Doesn't shock me. I was like, oh, I expected that when I saw the list and sent it to you. I kind of felt like, yeah, that's a validation of what I felt all summer.
Yeah.
All off season.
No, I got you. Yeah. Since Ashton's been here for sure.
And he's been here, by the way. Everybody, I don't know if you guys reported on that. Everybody who was on the roster was here this week, got here this week.
Yep. Yeah. So, we hadn't mentioned that on the show, so I'm glad that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned it.
So he's here.
Yeah. And Pro Football Focus, I mean, they weighed experience a ton, right? And they mentioned that, I mean, Ashton Daniels had a better grade, a PFF grade than Jackson did. So Ashton had a 71.7 PFF grade last year. Jackson had a 63.2 PFF grade. And then, Deuce is just, I mean, he didn't play last year, so he doesn't have a PFF grade yet. So if he would have played somehow in this hypothetical world, there were a lot of ifs on today's show, but Auburn would have shot up even higher. So PFF likes Ashton Daniels a lot. It's just weird, though, because the reason that this is there, like in an ideal world, he never plays because Jackson is incredible, right? Like and healthy, right? Like that's the ideal option.
Well, he plays in blowouts, in mop-up duty, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. I guess I should say he doesn't start, I guess. I don't know.
I think there's going to be more opportunities this year for that to happen, even in a couple of conference games. I'm just going to throw that out there, too.
As far as like mop-up duty goes?
Yep.
I hope so. Goodness, I hope so. And I hope Ashton and Deuce both get reps for sure.
Yes.
Personally, I hope Deuce gets more of them for the future of the program. But at some point, you got to give a nod to Ashton for him coming here.
Yeah, I think that's very unselfish. It's the kind of guys you want. Bruce Pearl had a ton of them on his basketball team. This is an indication of a guy that's a team guy first, that's willing to put aside personal accolades, stats, and help the team. He knows his highest value and role to this team is just to be a backup. And yet, he's willing to forego a starting position to do that. And he gets to play in the SEC, too. But, I mean, he's leaving the Big Ten. It's not like he's leaving the Mountain West Conference.
No, he's leaving the ACC.
I'm sorry, ACC. I got that confused.
Which makes even less sense.
Yes, because he could play. That's right. Absolutely.
I was about to correct you and say Big 12, but it's like,
and I said Big 10
for
before.
some reason in the ACC.
I forgot. Cal and Stanford in the ACC. I
makes no sense.
It's people jumping all over the place. Oregon and Washington are in the Big 10.
Yeah, nothing screams Atlantic Coast Conference more than Stanford and Cal. Goodness gracious.
I know.
Goodness gracious. All right, so Auburn 8th in Pro Football Focus's top 10 quarterback rooms entering the 2025 season. What do you think? What do you think? Let us know. Let us know. Honorable mention was Texas, which I find interesting. So take that for what it's worth. Darrell, how can people check out everything you've got going up?
Wednesdays and Fridays with you, Locked on Auburn. Sunday nights, 8 o'clock, Barncast. We go live. We have a good time. So check that out as well.
Yep, absolutely. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked on Auburn.